10 Simpsons predictions that may come true in 2021. There have been several predictions over the years that have seemingly come true. There are very few cases where the Simpsons predicted something. It's mainly just coincidence because the episodes are so old that history repeats itself. The successful predictions of this show include Trump's presidency, Lady Gaga's Super Bowl halftime show, and an old John Lewis advert. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 10 Simpsons predictions that may come true in 2021. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Mania. Make sure you stay until number 1, as you don't want to miss the most shocking and unbelievable prediction made about The Simpsons. Number 10. Virtual food. One particular episode of the show, set in the future, showed Homer and Marge chowing down on some virtual food. If you exist in the world currently, you'll know that virtual food isn't something that exists yet, but virtual reality does. In their explanation of virtual food, they managed to depict the existence of VR headsets quite accurately. So who knows what'll happen with virtual food a few years down the line? The Simpsons made it back to the future, this time to 2030, where Homer and Marge chow down on virtual fudge via VR glasses and feeding tubes. Although you'd think the whole virtual, no-calories thing would have trimmed down the junk food junkie patriarch, it didn't. Meanwhile, in the real world, Royal Caribbean is looking into giving their cruise line guests a VR dining experience. With every bite of food, you're transported to a new setting. And food scientists at Cornell University found that cheese eaten in a pleasant VR setting tasted better. Number 9. Automobiles with sound effects. Something else introduced in Lisa's Wedding and subsequent Simpsons episodes that looked at the future were the sounds made by cars. In particular, the one air cars made in the Jetsons. It's hard to describe in words. Suffice it to say, it sounds like someone puffing their cheeks and letting the air out as a bee sounds with their mouth. Car sound effects are no longer far-fetched. Some vehicles, especially sports cars, allow the owners to enhance the sound of the motor. This option can increase the volume or make the engine sound like the roar of a lion. Back in 2005, Professor Frink invented a machine that allowed Bart and Lisa to see into their future, as in 2013. Marge left Homer because he blew through their savings on an underwater house and spent what he had left over on a hover car. Although the ride is bumpy, it's a prototype. It does get them through a quantum tunnel. In 2017, Renault created a futuristic-looking concept car called Float that could move in any direction without turning. The same technology is being used in Tesla's Hyperloop train design. Number 8. Potential President Ivanka. Another slightly alarming presidential prediction came from right in the middle of the Trump presidency. By this point, Trump has already demonstrated his methods of running the country, so the idea of one of his offspring being passed the baton was quite alarming. However, the show predicted that Ivanka would run for office in 2028. If their track record is anything to go by, and it is, then this will probably happen. We just need to hope they don't make an episode that predicts a victory. The Simpsons made a rather subtle point of suggesting that the first daughter, Ivanka Trump, would run for the highest office in the land when Homer wore an Ivanka 2028 campaign button in a 2016 episode. They again tossed shade on Ivanka in 2017 by marking her father's 100th day in office with an episode that showed her replacing Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the Supreme Court, while modeling a robe and earrings from her collection that could be bought for 1,000 rupees. It is conceivable that Ivanka could run for president. And although there are preferred qualifications of a Supreme Court justice, the Constitution does not stipulate anything one way or another. Number 7. Music will control the minds. The idea of mind control via music has been strangely present in the industry for many years. People like to believe that Led Zeppelin have been telling them to worship Satan since the release of Stairway to Heaven, and a variety of people have pointed the finger at Judas Priest, since the truth is, it hasn't happened. However, the show has given us a very clear image of how the Navy might choose to recruit in the future, by backmasking the words "Join the Navy" into a pop song. So be very wary. A 2001 episode of The Simpsons called New Kids on the Blech scared the bejesus out of parents with its plot that had Bart and his pals in a new band that unwillingly was a PSYOPs project by the Navy Department intended to feed children with subliminal messages in their music. Number 6. There will be a colony on Mars. As The Simpsons progressed, it isn't exactly a secret that they've begun to run out of storyline ideas. Some of the stuff we are presented with in later seasons is certainly a little more far-fetched than that of the Golden Era, but we'll let it slide. One of those stories saw Marge and Lisa rocket off to a colony on Mars. This hasn't become a reality to us yet, but if Elon Musk has anything to say in the matter, then it could happen within our lifetime. Marge is not thrilled when Lisa volunteers for a future one-way trip to Mars. so she volunteers to go with her. In fact, hoping to dissuade Lisa, the whole family signs up. The idea behind Exploration Incorporated's expedition is to colonize the Red Planet before 2026, a date that moves up to like the end of the week. The takeoff fails, but Lisa and Marge make it to Mars in 2051, only for Lisa to announce that she wants to move to Venus. While Elon Musk's SpaceX is currently developing Mars-bound cargo flights for as early as 2022, fully colonizing Mars would require an out-of-this-world budget. Number 5. Robots will take over human beings. One episode of The Simpsons managed to both predict the very existence of Westworld and the uprising of robots simultaneously. Westworld already exists and draws on the idea of a theme park full of almost sentient robots who decide to go against their human counterparts one day. The Simpsons predicted mass automation in 2012, with robots taking over jobs of many humans, but a robot coup was touched on long before that. In a 1994 episode of Itchy and Scratchy Land, the family visited a theme park manned with robots that go off the rails and kill everybody. Jürgen Schmidhuber, known as the father of artificial intelligence, believes that AI superintelligence will trigger runaway technological growth and profound changes to civilization in just 30 years. Number 4. Goodbye will be replaced. Arguably the funniest prediction of the world of tomorrow The Simpsons ever made is that the phrase goodbye will be replaced by Nelson Muntz's famous catchphrase, "Smell you later." So far, it doesn't quite seem to have caught on globally, but it could certainly be waiting for us around the corner. Number 3. Airplane technology will change. In the classic episode Lisa's Wedding, Lisa and her fiancé, Hugh, fly from London to Springfield. As the plane takes off, they marvel at the way the old technologies have helped improve air travel. The scene switches to their tri-wing plane taking off from the airport. While the tri-wing probably won't come back into fashion, there's always discussion about improving the speed of air travel. One item people go back to is the supersonic model. Another possibility is stratospheric planes that climb well above 30,000 feet and descend to a destination within minutes or hours. Number 2. Bigfoot Prediction. Bigfoot is like a human, but generally larger than the average human being, and is covered with hair, similar to an ape. The most common evidence of the creature is its large footprints. After losing his clothes while on a family camping trip, Homer falls into mud and is eventually mistaken for Bigfoot. So he gets captured by scientists who observe him to determine what species he is. He was speculated to be either a below-average human or a brilliant beast. While recording the upcoming Fox special In Search of Bigfoot, an actor named Bob was dressed up as Bigfoot. They were filming, but after they saw Bob's wristwatch in the frame, they stopped filming. Shortly after they filmed the special, Barney Gumble was causing an avalanche onto himself. Number 1. The Simpsons predicts another world event. This is the latest in a string of predictions the iconic cartoon has made, having already foretold the coronavirus crisis and the fact that actor Tom Hanks would contract it. Fans of The Simpsons have pointed out that the iconic cartoon has seemingly predicted yet another world event. Between the show, which has been on the air since 1989, and its spin-off movie in 2007, the franchise has made a series of eerie predictions, including the current coronavirus pandemic sweeping the planet. And the latest prophecy fans have noticed in the plot in the Simpsons movie, in which a huge glass dome is lowered over the famous family's hometown of Springfield. In the Simpsons movie, the government lowers a dome onto Springfield, trapping the residents of the town inside it, forbidden to leave. This takes place because Homer Simpson contaminates the town lake with pig excrement, forcing the Environmental Protection Agency to quarantine the polluted region. Fans clocked onto this over Christmas when the movie was aired on Film 4. While you're here, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share our channel for more interesting videos. We'll see you there.